In times of change and challenge, regions like Niagara reveal their true strengths, not just in resilience, but in the unity and vision that drive progress. As one great Greek philosopher once said, the secret of change is to focus all of our energy not on fighting the old, but on building the new. When I look around this room here and all of you who have come together, I'm hopeful that we have an opportunity to shape a future that honors our roots while embracing innovation and shared prosperity as we're looking forward. And today, this event is brought because of the partnerships that we have formed. It is my honor to acknowledge the Niagara Industrial Association, the Niagara Construction Association, the Niagara Association of Realtors, the Niagara Home Builders, and the Chambers of Commerce for Grimsby and District, Lincoln, West Lincoln, and Niagara-on-the-Lake. Thank you so very much for being here with us. And here's a message from the Niagara Association of Realtors.
Are you looking to buy or sell a home in Niagara? Of course you are. You're watching this video. Look, we all know Niagara is the place to be. But do you know who knows Niagara better than anyone? Realtors. Niagara Realtors know Niagara. That is all 12 municipalities, each with their own specific quirks and districts. There is a distinct difference between Welland and Waynfleet. When I say port, you say...
Duluth! George! Oh, sorry. I thought you said Fort Erie!
You get the picture.
See, Niagara is both blue collar and white collar. The grape grower and the grape drinker.
Or both.
Or both.
Niagara is an amazing place to live, work, and play. We are passionate about living here, so we want to see that passion manifest itself in our buyers
And sellers.
When you use a Niagara Realtor, you are utilizing the experience of someone who wants to set you up for a win. After all, we're going to be neighbors.
Niagara Realtors know Niagara. Use a local Niagara Realtor.
It is also our honor to acknowledge Niagara's elected officials who are with us today. We have been joined by federal MPs Vance Badaway, Tony Baldinelli, and Chris Biddle. MPPs Jeff Birch, Wayne Gates, and Jenny Stevens. Regional councillors Kim Crader, Robert Foster, Bob Gale, Tom Encinina, Joyce Morocco, Tim Rigby, Michelle Seaborn, Peter Secord, Tim Whalen, and Albert Witteveen. As well, we have been joined by Mayors Jim Diodati, Matt Sisko, Sandra Easton, Wayne Redekop, Terry Ugolini, Frank Campion, Gary Zalepa, and Jeff Jordan, as well as city councillors from across the region. Our sincerest thanks for all that you do for all of Niagara. We are better because of the university and college that we have in our backyard here, and we're really pleased to have been joined by Dr. Leslie Wick, President and Vice Chancellor of Brock University, as well as Sean Kennedy, President of Niagara College. And it's also, yes, also very true. And we also have been joined by special guests, Patrick Van Giel, Belgian Ambassador to Canada, and his counselor, Maxime Ramon. Niagara Falls Mayor of Niagara Falls, New York, Mayor Robert Vesteno, and Erie County Executive Mark Polanskas and David Bojanowski of Erie County. We really are deeply thankful that you have joined us today. Our special appreciation goes to our title sponsor. PenFinancial Credit Union has been helping Niagara grow for over 60 years. With 20,000 members and a rich history, their roots are firmly planted in this region. As a values-driven cooperative, they believe in the prosperity of their members and their community, and all of this goes hand in hand as they are on a mission to improve the lives and strengthen communities.
Dad, is this where you keep your savings?
Don't be silly, son. This is one of the many places I keep my savings. I mapped this out so that you're taken care of when I'm gone.
When it comes to estate planning, you deserve peace of mind. At PenFinancial, we'll help safeguard your life savings and ensure they go exactly where you intend. Talk to one of our advisors today and make sure your future is figured out.
Spider!
Thank you. We often speak about collaboration, and an event in a gathering with 400 plus individuals from across Niagara and beyond Niagara is only possible because of the partners and the sponsors that we have. And it is my honor to recognize Ridley College, Electra, the Niagara Association of Realtors, Niagara College, Crown Electric, the University of Niagara Falls, Canada, Hooper Ports, Hamilton Oshawa Port Authority, FedCap Canada, YMCA of Niagara, Northern Biotech, Critelli Furniture, Year TV, Soundbox Productions, Newstalk 610, and Move 105.7. A really loud round of applause for all of you. And now it's my pleasure to pass the mic over to James Douglas, Executive Vice President in Customer Experience with Electra. Thank you.
So good morning, James Douglas, the EVP Customer Experience with Electra Utilities. I am happy to be here today on behalf of Electra to hear from Chair Bradley firsthand on the exciting things happening across the Niagara region. As many of you know, Electra provides electricity services to more than 1 million customers in Southern Ontario. Electra contributes to the economic vibrance and growth of 17 communities we serve by investing nearly $300 million each year in essential infrastructure, delivering safe and reliable supply of electricity, and providing innovative energy solutions, including right here in Niagara. Electra would like to thank the Greater Niagara Chamber of Commerce, who consistently provides quality programming and partnership opportunities. These opportunities allow organizations such as ours to connect with people and business leaders in the communities we serve. Much like the demand for electricity, Niagara region is growing, and with growth comes transformation. The electricity sector's transformation will be driven by customer demand, new technologies, and climate change. Electra is ready for this transformation, and our plan represents a balanced approach focusing on reliability and affordability. Electricity's priorities in Niagara region and beyond for the next 5 years focus on renewing and replacing aging infrastructure, meeting organic electricity load growth, and investing in resiliency and modernization to improve reliability and shorten outage response times. These activities will ensure that all our customers in the communities we serve will continue to enjoy reliable and affordable service well into the future. As we look forward to Chair Bradley's address today, let us remember the amazing things can happen when we work together. Thank you so much.
Thank you so very much. We've all come together, and I'm almost making the assumption that all of you know what to expect, what is happening. But for those of you who might still wonder, the format of today will look like 3 distinct aspects of it. We have the chair's keynote address, then we have lunch, and then followed by a fireside chat with Chair Jim Bradley. Many of you have actually provided us with the questions. Many of them focus on trade, municipal financing, industry, economic growth, and other areas of it. And we really do appreciate you being here and sharing those with us. The hashtag for today's event is hashtag State of Niagara, and please feel free to use it freely. And on that note, it is my pleasure to ask Carice Ramkison, CEO of the West Lincoln Chamber, to bring a welcome from all of our partner organizations. Thank you.
Regional Chair Jim Bradley, elected officials, sponsors, and other invited guests. Good morning. I am here as a proud voice for the West Lincoln's business community. West Lincoln may not be the most famous spot on the map, but we sure take up the most space. Spanning a whopping 387 kilometers, West Lincoln is the largest municipality in the Niagara region. Within that vast expanse lies a wealth of untapped potential. Potential we are unlocking through innovation and partnerships. Blending prime agricultural lands with vibrant business zones, West Lincoln's landscape features Smithville as its hub, complemented by historic hamlets. With an estimated population of 17,000 and a home ownership rate of almost 90%, we have a stable and deeply connected community. Our strategic location, offering us easy access to major highways and international airports, position us as a prime hub for manufacturing, logistics, and cross-border trade. But what truly sets West Lincoln apart is its thriving business ecosystem, rooted in partnerships and innovation. Take Big Country Raw, a pet food company that has grown from a home kitchen operation to 3 locations across Canada. This expansion is powered by local resources, sourcing poultry and eggs from local businesses like Spring Creek Quail Farms and partnering with Standpack for packaging, demonstrating the strength of our local supply chain. We're also witnessing the rise of the next generation of entrepreneurs. Take 20 View Farms, which is driving agricultural innovation, sharing knowledge, and enhancing crop production. Niagara Pallet is using AI to boost efficiency while committing to community building and sustainability. And Standpack, a community cornerstone for 75 years, employs over 465 people. Its success comes from not only advanced manufacturing systems, but a strong investment in people, offering an on-site gym, staff lounge, scholarships, and English language training programs. But beyond these large employers, small businesses are at the heart and the soul of West Lincoln's economy. Avstatics is reinventing retail as a collaborative space for local brands, while Breed Wellness and Arms Open Counseling address community health and wellness gaps. Geek Collective is revolutionizing marketing with its Local Lens series, using cinematic storytelling to highlight local businesses, strengthening community bonds, and a champion for vibrant shop local culture. Chambers of Commerce embody collaboration. Chambers connect businesses, advocate for their needs, and provide vital resources to overcome challenges. At the West Lincoln Chamber, we take this responsibility seriously, ensuring that our members have the tools and the opportunities to thrive. As our region grows, chamber partnerships strengthen the economy and amplify our collective voice. West Lincoln is a dynamic hub where businesses don't only survive, they lead, adapt, and excel. We take pride in contributing to the economic vitality and the collective energy of the entire Niagara region. Thank you.
And now to introduce our guest of the hour is Jordan Sherlock, Executive Director with the Niagara Industrial Association. Thank you.
Good morning, ladies and gentlemen. My name is Jordan Sherlock, Executive Director for the Niagara Industrial Association. We represent over 250 Niagara businesses within the manufacturing sector, a sector that region-wide is made up of over 650 businesses and 22,000 employees. Before I have the honor of introducing our VIP today, I want to quickly say that like most of us in this room, our manufacturing sector is challenged by the current US trade disruption. However, this isn't the first time that we've been punched in the mouth, and it won't be the last. I can say as someone who's been part of Niagara's industrial community for my entire career that I expect nothing but a response of resilience and solidarity from our group as we fight this trade war. I ask that our government officials, educational institutions, community partners, and business leaders in this room today to continue to acknowledge manufacturing as a core sector in this region, as we will need all of the support and recognition we can get in navigating the times ahead. I want all of our partners to know that I am personally confident that we will be standing here next year celebrating the unwavering spirit and continued success of the industrial sector and the region at large. Thank you. And with that, it is my pleasure to introduce a respected leader and lifelong public servant today, Chair Jim Bradley. Chair Bradley has served as chair of the Niagara region since 2018. His dedication to our community spans over 5 decades, starting as a St. Catharines City Councillor in the 70s, followed by an extraordinary 41 years as the member of provincial parliament for St. Catharines. Over that time, he held key cabinet roles, including Minister of Environment, Transportation, Municipal Affairs, tourism and recreation, and community safety. As regional chair, Jim Bradley has championed many initiatives that have strengthened Niagara. Under his leadership, the region has a 24% increase in organics diverted from the landfill, the unification of public transit, expanding access to rural internet, and over $20 million invested in affordable housing. I say a round of applause for some of those achievements. He has also led efforts to address climate change and promote inclusivity, joining UNESCO's Coalition of Inclusive Municipalities and passing Niagara's first Diversity, Equity, and Inclusion Plan. Throughout his career, Chair Bradley has worked tirelessly to move Niagara forward. He is a passionate advocate, a trusted leader, and a true champion of our region. Please join me in welcoming the VIP of today, Chair of the Niagara Region, Jim Bradley.
Well, thank you very much for that extremely kind introduction today. People always wonder when they hear the number of cabinet portfolios I held, could this guy ever hold a job for any period of time? But I enjoyed each and every one of them. I'd like to start by thanking the dedicated team at the Greater Niagara Chamber of Commerce for hosting today's event, as well as our signature sponsor, PenFinancial Credit Union, for making today possible. I would like to recognize as well the local and regional councillors who've already been recognized, but I'd like to recognize them again, and the other elected officials who are with us today. I'm going to ask them all to stand, if they will, today and receive your applause. And I would like to give an especially warm welcome to Mayor Robert Restaino of Niagara Falls, New York, Erie County Executive Mark Poloncarz, and David Wojciechowski of Erie County, all of who are with us today, and our good friends from across the border. I very much appreciate your presence here today. I appreciate as well your continued partnership as we work together to weather the economic storms taking place on both sides of the border. Also joining us today as our special guests are the Belgian ambassador to Canada, Patrick Van Giel, as well as one of his counselors, Maxime Ramon. And finally, I'd like to recognize the dedicated regional staff who are in the audience today. When I speak about the many positive things that we as a region have accomplished, it is in large part due to the hard work and dedication of so many regional staff who, through their day-to-day work, help translate regional council's vision and priorities into real-world action that benefits our entire community. I typically start my State of the Region address by giving an update on Niagara's economy. This year, it would be impossible to do so without speaking briefly, at least, of the economic uncertainty around international trade. I use the term uncertainty very deliberately, for that is what I believe is happening as a result of the US administration trying to induce here in Canada and around the world that kind of uncertainty that is so damaging to business. This constant cycle of new tariffs, delays, 30-day reprieves, and more tariffs are really unsettling global markets, upending long-standing economic conventions, and creating doubt, hesitation, and pessimism. As everyone in this room recognizes, there's nothing worse for business than uncertainty. Businesses hold off on expansions and on investments. Consumers delay large purchases and curtail their everyday spending. Economic growth is stunted or halted. Beyond economics, it is obvious that this trade war is meant to sow division, to divide a wedge between allies and break apart long-standing relationships. They mean to turn neighbors into strangers, friends into adversaries, and we will not allow that to happen. We fight back most effectively when we refuse to play into this scheme. While it may be difficult to do so at times, I would ask that we uphold the Canadian stereotype of politeness by ensuring our everyday interactions with our US neighbors are marked by civility, goodwill, and mutual respect. Rather than throwing away one Rather than throwing away one of the longest lasting economic alliances in all of history, we must instead do what we can to protect it. We must continue to capitalize on the many economic opportunities we have benefited from, thanks to our partnerships with our counterparts in the state of New York. We must have faith that the strong ties that have endured countless trials over a century and more will survive President Donald Trump. The region, along with area municipalities, is helping to maintain these relationships through cross-border collaborations with the Border Mayors Alliance. I would like to commend our chambers of commerce, our municipal counterparts in Buffalo, Niagara Falls, New York, Erie County, and Niagara County, and so many others on both sides of our immediate border who have continued to show strength, solidarity, friendship, and cooperation throughout the last several months. Now, I'm not suggesting that we turn a blind eye to the real and immediate challenges facing our business community. Far from it. Niagara is truly united in its commitment to defending and strengthening our economic resiliency. Since the possibility of these tariffs was first raised, regional economic development staff have been meeting frequently with municipal economic development officials, chambers of commerce, and others as part of Team Niagara to share intelligence and develop strategies to protect and support Niagara businesses. In record time, the region has also developed a suite of resources and information for local businesses seeking to diversify their trade connections, find new suppliers, and more. I'd like to also recognize the efforts of the GNCC, who have similarly provided a great deal of support for our local business community. One positive effect of the trade war has been an outpouring of patriotism and a strong desire to make everyday choices that benefit Canadian companies. Locally, the region will be launching a Support Local Business campaign this week to help channel this patriotism. I am hopeful that this surge in local pride will be a boon to our economy. Now, putting aside the topic of tariffs, allow me to highlight a few positive developments that have marked the last year as one of economic growth and prosperity in Niagara. Our region continues to be a hotspot for manufacturing investment and innovation. Making the headlines in the summer of 2024 was the announcement of Asaya Kasai's brand new lithium-ion battery separator plant in Port Colborne. Phase one of this $1.6 billion plant is expected to come online in 2027, creating over 300 new jobs. The economic benefits of this new plant will stretch far beyond the host community of Port Colborne, with spin-off jobs being driven in many other Niagara municipalities. Now, since the announcement, Asaya Kasai has been aggressively working toward that 2027 deadline and has already shown a long-term commitment to Niagara. The fact that this global powerhouse chose to invest in Niagara speaks volumes of the excellent business opportunities, vibrant community, and strong partnerships that are all hallmarks of Niagara. In fact, those partnerships were recognized this past year by Business Facilities Magazine, which awarded regional staff with the Deal of the Year Impact Award for their work supporting Asaya Kasai's investment in Niagara. Also in Port Colborne, this past August, we received the good news that Young Bunzlauer would be investing $200 million in a major expansion of its xanthan gum facility to meet global demand. The expansion will bring 50 new, well-paying jobs to Niagara and will strengthen our local and provincial supply chains. Other highlights over the past year include new investments in renewable energy and clean technology sector, such as Atura Power in Niagara Falls, as well as Stormfisher Hydrogen and Destiny Copper, both in the city of Thorold. Taken together, Niagara has seen investments of $1.71 billion in 2024, along with 590 new jobs created. Now, 2024 is no flash in the pan either. When you combine those numbers with figures from 2023, you reach a total of $2.5 billion invested, with over 2,000 jobs created, and that's in the manufacturing sector. Niagara is clearly making a name for itself as an ideal place for world-class, clean and advanced manufacturing businesses to set up shop. On the tourism side, Niagara saw an 11% growth in tourism spending in 2024 over the previous year, equating to a total of $3.4 billion. That's with a B. Underscoring the strength of Niagara's tourism industry are recent signals from the provincial government that it intends to invest significantly in Niagara as a prime destination for visitors from right across Ontario. I would also like to call attention to what I have always considered to be the jewel of Niagara's economy, our thriving agricultural industry. Many in Niagara have family histories that are rooted in small farms that for many years underpinned our economy. Today, Niagara's farms and the high quality foods they produce, along with our world famous vineyards and wine industry, are a source of pride to Niagara locals and a source of envy to others. As proof of this, in September, West Lincoln will be hosting the 2025 International Plowing Match and Rural Expo. This 5-day celebration of agriculture and rural living draws an average of 70,000 people from across North America, providing an excellent opportunity to showcase what makes Niagara's agricultural scene so very special. Today, Niagara's agriculture industry contributes over $1.71 billion in GDP impact and supports over 24,000 jobs, demonstrating that farming is still a key player in our economic success. Recognizing this, in 2024, the region's Economic Development Department completed a Niagara Agricultural Action Plan and will be working with the area municipalities and the Niagara Federation of Agriculture to execute that plan. Niagara is also faring well when it comes to overall population and employment data. Our population reached a high of 540,000 people in 2024. Keeping pace with that new population growth, we have seen over $1.8 billion in residential construction investment for 2024. Non-residential construction investment was just over $700 million. That new growth has also translated into positive employment numbers. Over 2024, Niagara gained nearly 13,000 jobs, representing a 6% growth. Our unemployment rate has also dropped from a high of 8.3% to just 6% now. As we continue to strengthen Niagara's position as a global leader in business and innovation, it's important to highlight the strategic advantages that make this region a prime destination for investment and growth. Today, I'm pleased to present a new video that showcases Niagara's robust economic environment and its well-established infrastructure and the unique opportunities we offer to businesses looking to expand. This brief video will be used by our economic development staff to help attract global business leaders to our region, focusing on the key factors that drive those leaders to relocate to Niagara. Please enjoy the video. As the video highlights, Niagara has a lot going for it. Despite the challenges on the horizon, we can take heart that Niagara's economic outlook is overwhelmingly positive. If we allow this positivity to drive our actions, we are well poised to not only survive the current economic turmoil, but to thrive through it. Now, we've talked about the resiliency our business community has shown in the face of the U.S. tariff threat. I would also like to address the challenges our municipalities are facing around financing and property taxes. I have said on many occasions that the model by which our municipalities are funded is in desperate need of reform. The provincial funding model for municipalities has not been meaningfully updated since 2008, while our federal funding models have remained essentially unchanged since the 19th century. Over the past several years, we have seen a disheartening trend by which provincial governments, and this is not just in our province but others as well, provincial responsibilities are downloaded to municipalities without the commensurate funding being provided. We saw this most clearly through the region's 2025 budget deliberations, in which the province's decision to introduce changes to the responsibilities of police services across Niagara, across the whole province, indeed, incurred over $10 million in new costs for Niagara Regional Police Service. And that's, again, something that is duplicated right across the province. And these, by the way, are changes the province has brought to us that we agree with the changes, simply not the financing of them. So they're changes which the region and the province have no control over. Police have no control over. While the province reimbursed those extra costs for municipalities who rely on the OPP for their policing, and I commend them for doing so, no such support was offered for municipalities like Niagara and other regions who operate their own police services. As a result, property taxpayers in Niagara are on the hook for that extra $10 million, which made up a significant portion of the 9.6% increase to regional property taxes this year. There are many other examples of this, and the trend must stop. Property taxes are regressive taxes, do not take into account a person's ability to pay. This additional burden on taxpayers translates to negative effects on our economy and on our businesses. This is a problem, indeed, municipalities across the province are facing, and the region will continue to advocate strongly, along with the Association of Municipalities of Ontario and others, for significant reform to the province's municipal funding model. While we're on the subject, I'd like to touch on a few highlights from the region's 2025 budget. And these are highlights which show our work to support significant growth happening in Niagara. This year's budget included over $100 million in infrastructure funding to build, improve, and maintain the vital public works that support business growth and new housing starts. That includes an east side pumping station force main replacement and a new Barrack Road water main, both in Port Colborne. It also includes $29 million to improve and rehabilitate McLeod Road in Niagara Falls and $10 million for the rehabilitation of J.R. Stork Bridge in St. Catharines. These are critical investments that will prepare Niagara for continued growth as we look to the future, and there are many more examples I could use if time would permit. So I'd like to commend my colleagues on Regional Council, especially our Budget Review Chair, 40 Mayor Wayne Redicop, for showing diligence and attention when considering these important matters. While tax increases are never ideal, I truly believe our council has made some very strategic decisions to reduce costs where indeed we had the opportunity to do so. That being said, it is clear that more difficult decisions are on the horizon. 2026 promises to be another challenging budget year. And it's an interesting figure in itself, with 92% of our budget going to essential or mandated services, it will be more important than ever that we find ways to keep property taxes under control without endangering the vital services our residents and businesses rely on. Speaking of those vital regional services, I would like to pause here to recognize the efforts of regional staff over the past year. They are the talented professionals who keep our drinking water safe and our regional roads clear. They provide care not only for our seniors and children, but also for the homeless, the sick, and those in danger. They support our business community and help to chart Niagara's long-term future. they do so in conjunction and cooperation with those in the local area municipalities. In 2023, Regional Council created its strategic priorities, committing to growing better together by creating a prosperous region, a green and resilient region, an equitable region, and an effective region. We could make no progress in any of these priorities were it not for the hard work of staff at every level who work to carry out these important projects and provide the services that our communities actually need. Our time today does not allow for a full list of their accomplishments in 2024, but I'd like to highlight just a few. Few people realize that the largest contingent of regional staff are actually those who care for seniors in the region's long-term care homes. Earlier this year, I had the pleasure of touring through the brand new Gilmore Lodge long-term care home in Fort Erie. In December of 2024, residents were able to move into a new 160-bed home that showcases the latest best practices in long-term care, and they have evolved over the years. I was truly impressed by the design, comfort, and attention to detail that defines this state-of-the-art piece of community infrastructure. And I look forward to touring the similarly redeveloped Lynn Haven long-term care home in St. Catharines when it opens later on this year. Moving on, many of us have witnessed the exceptional skill and professionalism that has always defined our region's paramedic services. And this past year, those skills were highlighted right here at home. For the first time, the International Trauma Life Support Conference and Trauma Skills Competition was held in Niagara, and our own EMS staff secured top honors. The event featured paramedic teams from around the world competing in 3 demanding trauma scenarios that tested their critical thinking, skill, and their collaboration. I'd like to congratulate the winning Niagara EMS team who achieved first place, demonstrating exceptional proficiency and dedication to life-saving practices, and I'd like you to join me in applauding them. In April of 2024, much of southern Ontario experienced a total solar eclipse, truly a once-in-a-lifetime event. Hundreds of thousands of visitors came from across Ontario and parts of the U.S. to take in this astronomical spectacle in Niagara. I would like to thank all of the staff who helped prepare for this momentous occasion, especially those staff in emergency management and public health who developed critical eye safety guidelines and messages to make sure our communities were ready for any eventuality. Many of our community's economic successes would be impossible without the key role played by university and colleges, and 2024 was a banner year for Niagara's post-secondary institutions. This past year marks 60 years since Brock University first opened its doors. Since the fall of 1964, Brock has been shaping skillful and well-informed leaders that have made their mark here in Niagara and indeed around the world. Brock continues to develop new programs that meet the needs of Niagara's labor market. Programs like Integrated Engineering, which welcomed its first cohort last September, are developed with industry input to ensure Niagara's workforce has the skills that are needed to grow. I'd like to offer my sincere congratulations on its 60th anniversary and look forward to the next 60 years of excellence. Speaking of excellence, 2024 also marked the second year in a row that Niagara College was named the top research college in all of Canada by Research InfoSource. Niagara earned its number 1 ranking by attracting more than $40 million in research support. This facilitated innovative projects with partners in the advanced manufacturing, business and commercialization, food and beverage, health, horticulture, and environmental sectors. I know many in this room have benefited from the college's trailblazing approach to applied research. And I'd ask you to give a round of applause for that. Thank you. I would also like to congratulate Niagara's newest post-secondary institution, the University of Niagara Falls, Canada, which celebrated its grand opening in September of 2024. I'd like to switch gears for a moment to touch on an area that's fast becoming a priority for our economic department efforts. Like many other municipalities across Ontario, Niagara continues to experience a significant shortage of family doctors. made even more acute by the steep growth in Niagara's population. As the effects of the shortage become more pronounced, there's been a universal recognition that Niagara must take a more coordinated and collaborative approach to physician recruitment. To kickstart this collaboration, Niagara Region hosted Niagara's first ever physician recruitment roundtable in November of 2024. A total of 38 representatives from Niagara's area municipalities, post-secondary institutions, healthcare system, and individual family practitioners attended. I was very encouraged by the cooperation, creative thinking, and open-mindedness shown by all participants. The group discussions generated some very useful insights that are already driving new approaches to attracting and retaining doctors. We heard that Niagara must take a more cooperative approach when considering things like incentives, as well as business supports and office space, and must broaden the partners we engage with on this file to include law firms, accountants, real estate experts, and others. We must also consider the needs of incoming doctors, not only as physicians, but as spouses, parents, and members of the broader community. We must do a better job telling Niagara's unique story. Participants significantly noted that family doctors are also business owners and require business supports. In keeping with this, we recently moved the Niagara Region's physician recruitment specialist into the economic development team. Doing so has better connected the specialists with the business support, marketing, and lead generation expertise that resides in our economic development department. I would like to highlight our recent successes in this field, and I'm pleased to say that in 2024, a record 26 new family doctors relocated to Niagara thanks to the collaborative efforts of the region and our local municipalities. I'm very encouraged by the spirit of collaboration and creativity that has marked our discussion on this topic, and I look forward to Niagara's continuing to lead the rest of the province as we look to innovative ways to draw new family doctors to our beautiful region. I'd also like to touch on the ongoing work the region is doing to combat homelessness in Niagara, along with our local municipalities. It is important to recognize that Niagara is not alone in tackling this complex problem. Earlier this year, the Association of Municipalities of Ontario released a study that showed that there are upwards of 80,000 people experiencing homelessness across our province. Truly a sobering figure. The study's solution is daunting to say the very least. It is estimated that an investment of at least $11 billion is required over the next 10 years. And that high price tag does not tell the whole story. We simply cannot throw money at this issue. So very often the homelessness that is manifested in our communities, and indeed you see it around the world, is a result of a confluence of issues, most notably mental health, addictions, and poverty. Truly solving homelessness will require fundamental changes to how we serve those most vulnerable members of our community. The scope of this problem can at times seem virtually overwhelming, but we must not let the enormity of the problem dampen the significant progress we are already making. Local news headlines do not always tell the full story of the exceptional work being done by the region and by the local municipalities, by so many dedicated community partners who are working on the front lines of this crisis every day to find long-term solutions to those experiencing homelessness. In 2024, Niagara system helped a total of 991 people successfully transition from emergency shelter to housing. This shows that we're in fact succeeding at getting people out of the emergency shelter system and into stable housing. This in turn frees up shelter capacity for those needing temporary shelter. We also have good reason to be hopeful for the future. Earlier this year, we received $4.4 million from the federal government, who we matched by the region through the Unsheltered Homelessness and Encampments Initiative. This funding will go a long way towards strengthening Niagara's homelessness supports and shelter system. Also, in January of 2025, our provincial government announced an investment of nearly $19 million to create a homelessness and addictions recovery treatment, or HART hub, in Niagara. Under this new model, a group of community partners led by Gateway Residential and Community Support Services will offer a broad range of wraparound supports to address the complex needs of those experiencing homelessness. I would like to express my thanks to all the community partners who came together in a spirit of collaboration to advance Niagara's proposal for this Heart Hub and look forward to these new services coming online over the coming months. While mental health and addiction services are key strategies in our quest to end homelessness, it must be remembered that the only true solution to homelessness is indeed housing. I'm pleased to say that over the past year, the region has continued to make steady progress towards increasing Niagara's supply of affordable housing stock. This past August, Regional Council endorsed a new attainable housing strategy, which lays the groundwork for more diverse forms of housing in Niagara, including affordable housing and rental units. Now, we have a long road ahead of us in this regard. In fact, the strategy showed that Niagara will have to double the number of apartments within the next 30 years to meet rising demand. And we do so along with our partners in the private sector. Successes will depend not only on the region's efforts, but on those of a variety of partners. Niagara has a strong track record of working together in pursuit of a common goal. We're taking the same proven approach to Niagara's housing crisis. Just last week, the region hosted Niagara's first Innovative Ideas for Housing Forum, which brought together over 100 local representatives from both the public and private sectors to collaborate and explore new strategies for overcoming barriers to housing development. I'm very, very pleased at the breadth of ideas that were discussed and the fresh new thinking that was on display, and I look forward to seeing Niagara's collective progress in this file in the coming months and years. As I've mentioned throughout my address today, much of Niagara's success depends on strong partnerships between the region and other levels of government. This is especially the case in 2025 as we tackle issues that extend beyond Niagara's borders, including the homelessness crisis and the international trade situation. Rest assured that Niagara will be strongly advocating for Niagara's unique needs again this year. Just a few short weeks, we will once again be partnering with the Greater Niagara Chamber of Commerce to host Niagara Week at Queen's Park, the seat of our provincial government. This is a unique opportunity to showcase Niagara to key decision makers and to advocate for our priorities in face-to-face meetings with provincial ministers. When it comes to the ongoing tariff threats, we'll work to ensure that the province considers Niagara's unique identity as a border community with a strong focus on manufacturing. We'll also be advancing our work in securing provincial and federal funding for the much needed South Niagara wastewater treatment plant, along with other infrastructure that Niagara desperately needs to support the coming residential and industrial growth. We cannot produce these homes without having the infrastructure to service them. We'll also be seeking further action on bringing all-day, two-way GO train service to Niagara. We've received clear signals that the province wants to drive more traffic to Niagara while reducing gridlock on our highways. The case for fast, convenient GO train service in and out of Niagara has never been stronger, and we're very optimistic that we will continue to see progress from the province on this file. Niagara Week is just one of a part of continuous strategy to advocate on Niagara's needs. Our staff work hard at every level to influence provincial policy in Niagara's favor, and I would also like to thank all of my colleagues on Regional Council who are constantly championing the needs of Niagara, both through formal events like Niagara Week and through many other avenues. As I reflect on the state of our beautiful region and on the many accomplishments and strengths we have talked about today, I remain very hopeful for the future. Our region and our country are indeed facing real, immediate challenges. But I'd like to remind everyone in this room that Niagara has what it takes to endure. We have a strong, growing, and resilient economy that is attracting world-class businesses and jobs to our region. We are actively working together to shore up that economy to tackle whatever may come our way. We are making progress on the social and systemic issues that affect our most vulnerable residents, like homelessness, addictions, and access to health care. We have strong partnerships with our provincial and federal governments. And even when we have an American administration which seeks to question our sovereignty and disrupt our economic progress, we still have many allies across the border who share and respect each other, who value our continued partnership, and are committed to working together for the benefit of both communities. And I want to thank those from across the border who are partners, and I ask you to accord them a round of applause today. Let us then approach the coming year with a sense of hope and optimism, confident in our resiliency and strong in our convictions. The coming months may not be easy, but we have the collective power to make Niagara thrive if we truly treasure our opportunities and strengths and embrace our identity as one of the most free, prosperous, resilient, and pioneering regions in all of Canada. Thank you. Want me to depart the stage now? Thank you.
Thank you so very much. Thank you so very much, Chair Bradley. It's great to be in a room and to be inspired by a vision and the hope and the outlook of the time to come. So we really appreciate that, along with the steadfast leadership that we have experienced, especially in this role over the past 6 to 7 years. So thank you so very much. I am between you and lunch, and so I'm not going to speak much longer. Enjoy it, and we will regroup here for our fireside chat at around 1:05. Thank you. Ridley College in Niagara is a distinguished independent school known for its strong academic programs, historic campus, and commitment to developing a well-rounded global citizen. And here's a message from Ridley College.
Greetings from Ridley College. I'd like to take this opportunity to thank the Greater Niagara Chamber of Commerce, as well as Regional Chair Jim Bradley for hosting today's event. It's always an honor to gather together to reflect on, as well as to celebrate our collective contributions to the health and well-being of the entire region. For more than 135 years, Ridley College has been a proud member of the Niagara region. We are a junior kindergarten to grade 12 independent school here in St. Catharines, with over 840 students from across Niagara, from across the country, and indeed from around the world, representing over 61 different countries. It's been a truly exciting and transformative year for Ridley. In September, our community celebrated the grand opening of the Evans Athletic Centre and the revitalization of our historic Eagleton building. The Evans Athletic Centre offers new fitness spaces to reinforce our position as a leader in athletics and physical literacy, and allow Ridley to open our doors to the community as a host for more sporting events and tournaments and facility rentals. Since opening, we've welcomed the Canadian National Men's Basketball Team, the Canadian Junior Squash Open, an OFSA field hockey tournament, and numerous other tournaments here to campus. The transformation of our beloved Eagleton building has also added tremendous value to the student experience. With the Walker Creative Commons and the Mitchell Learning Commons, the Leggett Family Art Gallery, the Patterson Performance Hall, and the Mannix Music Center. Our students now have access to inspiring spaces that allow them to create, dream, and strengthen their talents. Throughout our long history, we've been proud to be part of the fabric of the Niagara community. Whether it's hosting events or offering sports programs and summer camps to Niagara's youth, or partnering with local arts organizations, we are committed to ensuring our campus remains a vibrant hub for the entire region. Our motto, Terrar Dum Prosum, embodies our dedication to being consumed in service, driving us to enrich the lives of others. And we do this in a variety of different ways. Every year, each of our boarding houses support a local charity through donations and volunteering their time. Last year alone, they raised over $15,000 in support of local charities. Our Upper School Saturday programming provides weekly local service opportunities for our students. And in August, all staff and faculty, over 200 adults who work here at Ridley, engaged in a Ridley Day of Action to kick off the new school year, supporting 11 organizations across the region. In total, last year, our students gave back in many different ways to over 30 local organizations. Teaching our students to embrace service opportunities and make a positive impact is just one of the many ways we inspire flourishing lives at Ridley. We are so proud to do our part in helping Niagara prosper, and we're honored to call the Niagara region our home. Thank you.
And now may I ask Sean Kennedy, President of Niagara College, a leading post-secondary institution in Canada, known for its experiencing learning, industry-driven programs, and vital role in supporting innovation and economic growth across the region, Ontario and Canada, not to mention the international division. Let's welcome Sean Kennedy.
Well, thank you very much, Mishka. It's really a pleasure to be here. You know, I've watched Niagara grow and change over many years, and I truly believe this is Niagara's moment. So many great things happening, exemplified by the many different organizations and companies that are in the room this afternoon. Niagara College is proud to be partnered in so many ways and such an integral part of the fabric of Niagara, both from an economic perspective, by producing Monday morning ready graduates in more than 120 programs that cover every sector in Niagara, through to partnerships through our applied research area, where we work with small and medium-sized enterprises and often as well as larger corporations to help them innovate. We are incredibly proud of being Canada's top-ranked research college. But that means, I mean, it's something that I'm very competitive, so I love being number one, as you might have noticed in the photos. But more importantly, it means that we are working with hundreds every year, hundreds of SMEs who come to us to use our amazing facilities, to work with our students and work with our amazing faculty to help develop new products. Often we're the research and development arm for SMEs, or working with companies of any size to help them innovate and become more productive. And it's something that I think exemplifies our commitment to making Niagara stronger and our community stronger and our employers stronger and our economy stronger at this most precarious time, as Chair Bradley talked about, this moment of uncertainty. And we look forward to continuing to partner and be absolutely critical in all sectors of the Niagara economy and supporting all of you in every different way that we do. But I must say that to do so, we need your support, and we need support in two ways. We are at the moment facing some very challenging budget times, and we look forward to working with both the province and the federal government to ensure a greater level of understanding of what we do as colleges and the need for enhanced funding and stable government policy to support all of the things that Niagara needs us to do and all of the things that the province needs the college sector to do. Um, Also important, working with the province, and there was a letter that came out from Colleges Ontario, the Ontario Universities Council, and the Chamber of Commerce, the Ontario Chamber of Commerce, it came out just last week, which really urged the provincial government to fully implement some of the recommendations that were identified through the Blue Ribbon Panel to lift a domestic student tuition freeze and to provide a higher level of base funding. We really encourage the government to continue to look at that, but it's something that we've worked and partnered with the Ontario Chamber of Commerce to help advocate on, because we know that the business community understands how important post-secondary education is to the future of this province. Uh, and finally, we need your support, and I ask all of you to consider supporting our Together campaign. It is the largest fundraising campaign in Niagara College's history. It has never come at a more important time for the future, both of the college, but in supporting our role in supporting the most critical needs faced by Niagara. In particular, the ability to expand our health programming. Every year, we leave hundreds of students, domestic students, wanting to get into our health programs because we do not have the facilities. And as you know, health in every sector, whether it's PSWs and long-term care homes through to all of the different occupations in the health system, there's a constant shortage. So that will be a major focus of our Together campaign. And the other is our skilled trades area. Uh, Chair Bradley talked about the priority of building more homes across Niagara, and obviously it's both a federal and provincial priority as well. But the homes don't build themselves. And we need to be able to expand our trades facilities in order to meet the workforce needs of Niagara moving forward. So I will end there, but please consider, again, supporting our Together campaign. But I want to end by thanking all of you for your ongoing support. I have had many conversations today where you talk about all of the great things the college is doing, and I appreciate that. I ask for your continued support, but truly thank you for your partnerships. And I want to end by thanking the chamber and Mishka Balsam, who is a former chair of our board of governors. I always want to thank Mishka. So I'm so appreciative of the time she gave as on her in her role as board chair of Niagara College in supporting us and in guiding us and providing invaluable advice, but also her ongoing leadership of the Greater Niagara Chamber of Commerce in supporting our business community and finding ways to bring government and the public sector, post-secondary, the education sector, and businesses together, because together we're unstoppable. It is Niagara's decade. I am convinced of it. We are on the cusp of some really great things. And finally, I want to thank Chair Bradley. He is one of a kind. Uh, his leadership and steady leadership, his diplomacy, and his vision and belief in Niagara is really remarkable. So I want to thank both Mishka and Chair Bradley for their leadership, and I will look forward, as all of you do, to hearing their fireside chat, and I'll turn it back to them. Thank you.
I've changed my mind twice while listening to Sean's remarks. So first said to Chair Bradley, maybe we'll start out with the population question. And then I thought, well, maybe we move over to tariffs. So I'm slightly confused and before sitting down here of the direction we are going to take in this conversation that we're going to have, an important one. But let's start out actually when we talk about tariffs, because that has dominated most of our conversations over the last couple of months. And you spoke about it in your remarks. I think you spoke also with optimism, and I feel slightly the same way. We have all of our partner organizations and others that are part of Team Niagara. We're talking about the initiatives that are coming forward, the partnerships that we're having in the community, all of that, which leads us with a level of optimism. And then looking at Sean's remarks just now and saying it's Naga's time, that also makes me lean towards and into that. But what makes you optimistic or leaves us with a level of optimism in these most uncertain times?
There's a lot of resiliency amongst members of the business community. We have encountered challenges previous, none of them quite of this kind, but we have encountered major challenges previously, and I'm optimistic that we're going to be able to get through this. We mentioned the connectivity with those of us who are on the other side of the border. That is not wavering in any way. We have strong support from those of us who are on the American side of the border and sympathy with the circumstances that we're facing at the present time. When I look at the tariffs themselves, it forces us, as a crisis often does, forces us to look at other options. It has been easy to be right next door to the United States and to have them as our main trading partner. And that has worked very well for us over the years. If I look at Niagara, for instance, about $6 billion a year is generated in terms of the, of, sorry, I gotta do this, is generated by our exports to the United States. 72% of our goods produced here in Niagara go into the United States. So it's been easy for us in many ways, though we've cultivated that relationship. This is compelling us now to look at all options, some other markets that may be available to us that perhaps we did not pursue as a country, as a province, as a municipality in years gone by. But certainly members of the various economic development departments within the region have reached out over the years to other countries in terms of marketing. And this does provide us with an opportunity, I suppose we could say, to pursue those other markets. In addition to this, we talked a lot as a country about and provinces about trade within the country and the barriers that are there between provinces. And some minor steps have been taken to overcome those challenges. But we now see that it's going to be very important to virtually wipe out those kinds of barriers, which are come in various forms between the provinces in Canada. So that makes me optimistic that, in fact, we can get through this crisis. We have had a provincial election where our premier has taken the issue of tariffs and gone into the United States. He has made that a prime issue in his campaign. He has a strong mandate at the present time, majority government in Ontario, and he nationally has encouraged people to work together as a team Canada. And so therefore, and I see the federal parties are also going to have to address this challenge. So I'm optimistic that we're all on basically the same wavelength. We recognize there'll be some tough times. We recognize that we may have to, as it appears, have some counter tariffs. Nobody wins in a tariff war. We know that. But we're prepared to take that action. And I think there's a pretty strong national consensus on those issues. Certainly that consensus seems to be here in the Niagara region. So that does make me optimistic that we can overcome the problem of tariffs. And we only hope, but the real challenge there, as you would know, representing businesses, is uncertainty. One thing I learned when I was a provincial minister in various ministries was one thing that the business community wanted was certainty. Even if they didn't agree with policies, they wanted to know where you're going so they could plan their operations and their investments. When you have that uncertainty, people are reticent to invest, reticent to expand, and the general population reticent to spend money in various ways. But I'm optimistic we can come through this, and I know that chambers of commerce are working with us in this regard. So I still see a bright future despite the clouds that we see in the sky today.
Thank you so very much. We had partnered actually with many organizations in this room here and in partnership with our Ontario Chamber of Commerce, and we had surveyed the business community to get a pulse from them. The survey took place at the end of February to get a sense of what people and businesses are experiencing. And it mirrors very much, Chair Bradley, what you had mentioned, the sense of uncertainty. Yet at the same time, we got the sense of innovation, different ways of looking at it, different opportunity, different markets to pursue. So that was really good to see. Then we compared the data of Niagara's business community with the rest of Ontario because we're always interested to seeing how does Niagara's business community just fare on that, and all the things that we need to do to support them with when providing them with information, access to new markets. All of those ones were similar on both markets. But where Niagara differentiated was actually the element where they expressed and networking. It was the sense that how much business takes place when we actually get into the same room, face to face together, same as what we're here today, and how much actually Niagara valued that in bringing forward new ideas, innovative ideas, overcoming some of those challenges. And so if I can do anything to encourage you, sometimes in a crisis, we want to crawl up somewhere and hide and not come forward. But this is the time really for all of us to come forward and
And the
move
chambers
forward.
have been very helpful to us as a regional economic development department. That dialogue is ongoing, and that's exceedingly important. So we really appreciate what the chambers are doing, and I know you're exchanging that information with those on the other side of
Yes.
the border as well.
Yeah. The other thing I wanted to mention, and that you had mentioned in your speech, and we heard about it a few weeks back, is that our population in Niagara is now at a 500,000, over 500,000. And I was wondering if you could expand a little bit on what actually brought this population growth about. We know that the province has very ambitious goals for Niagara. When we're looking down the road, we look at 20 years down the road, and we're talking about 625,000 residents living here. What are we on target? What are the opportunities that come with it? And what are potentially some of the challenges that we're facing as well?
The challenge is, I'll start with the challenge because it's a clear one. We have to be able to house people. And the province has set targets for certain municipalities here in Niagara, the larger municipalities. We have some extreme growth taking place, which is very positive in terms of housing opportunities. Mayor Ugolini of Thorold wanted to tell us that his municipality is setting all kinds of records, both provincially and nationally, in terms of expansion in Thorold, where there are lands available for that expansion. So we have the land available here. People want to come here because there's a lot of amenities they enjoy. When there's job opportunities, and we're seeing the investments taking place in business, those job opportunities tend to draw people here. But also the landscape that we have here, the large rural tracts which are attractive, the wine industry which has done so well, tourism. There's so many things to attract people here, and they want to come here. But it's also driven by the fact that the cost of housing in the Greater Toronto area is much greater than it is here. It's growing here, the cost, but not to the extent it is there. So people have chosen here. The potential for Go Transit to be fully in place on a daily basis and all day long makes a difference as well. When people hear that, they say, I can go back and forth to the Greater Toronto area much more easily than I could before. Our municipalities are welcoming, the people here are welcoming to others. So they're finding that Niagara is indeed a place where it's nice to live. If you think of some of the other amenities we have, I think of the Shaw Festival, for instance. I think of the new building we see on the grounds of Brock University, shared by municipalities, that allows for recreational purposes, for instance. We have, as well as our public system of education here at the elementary and secondary level, Ridley College has a reputation worldwide that is attracting people to Ridley College. So all of this is militating in favor of more people moving here and making us a more desirable place to live that people perhaps didn't think of in years gone by.
Yeah. Thank you very much. I'm really glad. I'm going to follow up on a number of things that you've mentioned. One of them had to do with the housing one, and you mentioned in your presentation, and I really do encourage everyone here. The region held the housing forum last week. The innovative ideas that have come forward during that forum was extraordinary. They looked at municipalities like the city of Edmonton. They had staff from the city of Edmonton there, seeing and looking at the changes that they have put in place and moving it forward. Really gives you the sense that with the right attitude and we have the skills here, we can actually move this one forward. You mentioned arts and entertainment, and often, and I'm taking a step back now when we talk about the trade situation or the tariffs that we're in, we also, from a chamber point of view and as a community, often look at which sectors actually have the potential to grow and strengthen. And then when you look at our culture, our entertainment, our tourism offerings that we have, it's extraordinary. And I think it's really one of the driving elements that moves us forward.
The new theater in Niagara Falls, for instance, that is adjacent to the casino, is attracting people who before would never be performing in Niagara. It's a wonderful new building, and it brings, as I say, I remember Billy Joel being here to open it up, and that was really something to get a person of that ilk into Niagara. The Shaw Festival has top-notch plays. The Shaw has been very successful over the years, particularly the past year. We have many of our friends from the United States who come here to the Shaw Festival, are members of the Shaw Festival, for instance. And we have the New Meridian Center in St. Catharines. We'll be hosting here next year. Well, first of all, we hosted the national championships for young people here, the Canada Games, here in the Niagara region, throughout the Niagara region. And we'll be hosting the National Junior Lacrosse Championship next year. So with these kinds of amenities, we're able to bring people in from other areas. Often what happens is once they come here, they want to come back, either as visitors or people who want to stay here. So those are all things that are very positive about this area. And it's not only the major cultural events that we have. We have some small theaters out there. I get into trouble for mentioning any. I was just at a play by Garden City Productions the other day. The Foster Festival is here. Port Colborne, Niagara Lake. Everybody has some good attractions in that regard. And for history, certainly the history that's there in Fort Erie and Niagara and the Lake and right across the Niagara region. History buffs really enjoy that. There's a new designation we're looking for Niagara as well in terms of tourism, which is International United Nations. So all of that I think is very positive in terms of attracting people and getting them here. Because I mentioned, for instance, when you're trying to attract members of the medical profession here, it's not just the nice new hospitals we have and the other medical amenities we have. It's also what quality of life can they enjoy here? And the things I mentioned appeal to those individuals as well.
I fully agree. You mentioned the GO Train service, and that is of interest, has been of interest to all of us in this room. How close are we to Niagara securing full day two-way GO Train service? What obstacles remain? And can you give us a date?
I wish I could. But I would say if I were echoing the province, I would say soon. I'm very encouraged by what I've seen from the province. Yes, we'd love to have all day commuter traffic today on the GO train. That has not happened yet, but the opportunity is there. There was an event that was held in Grimsby recently at the future GO station in Grimsby, where the provincial members were there from the cabinet were very positive about the expansion of GO service to Niagara. Year over year, the use of GO train has increased as well. The local members of the legislature on the government side, Sam Oosteroff, and then on the opposition side, MPP Birch, MPP Gates, and MPP Stevens, they've all been advocating for it. The mayors of all the municipalities have advocated for it, even where those municipalities are not on the track itself, because I think they recognize that eventually we could have some GO buses going to their community, bringing people to the GO train. They also appreciate the fact we now have regional transit, because that means that, again, it's easier to get people to the GO stations. The Niagara region has invested heavily in future GO stations, renovations, GO stations, Niagara Falls and St. Catharines, for instance. we're looking forward to that in Lincoln and in Grimsby. It's mentioned in the provincial budget. It was mentioned in the platform of all the parties running in the last provincial election, including the governing party, has mentioned it in their platform. The other advantage we have here is, and I don't want to denigrate any other municipality, but a lot of people want to come to Niagara, so it's not just one way. You know, and often we think of people wanting to go into the city of Toronto or the GTA from the various communities around. There are a lot of people who want to come from the GTA to Niagara, and they don't want to be sitting bumper to bumper on the QEW. So they like the option of being able to come here by train. And there's been an expansion of we call it the tourist train opportunities as well. So all of these things give me reason for optimism that we'll see, as we've seen some progressive steps forward, further steps to bring all-day GO transit to Niagara, right to Niagara Falls.
That's excellent. We're looking forward to it. But so that would be one great success story. We have had here in the region, and you mentioned some in your speech, great success stories. We have with us today, as Sarika say, you have a table with us, and we're really glad that you can join us. Jungbundslau was another company that you mentioned, at expanding. A huge commitment to Niagara and an international player. We have a strong economic development team in individual municipalities and at the region working together. So we've had a successful couple of years. How do we stay one step ahead of other regions and other competing regions or municipalities as we're looking at the next 3 to 5 years?
It really amounts to hard work and aggressiveness in going after the people that we want to invest here. The fact that major investments have taken place already by these companies, others who are looking at coming to Niagara say, well, if these companies have decided Niagara's the place to be, why can't we then invest in Niagara? So that's important. We have to continue to enhance our transportation. We have an advantage here that many people we take for granted, and sometimes it annoys us because it makes us late, but it's called the Welland Canal. We have marine transportation. First of all, we have municipalities, including the regional municipality, on Lake Erie and Lake Ontario. So that's there. Then we have a canal that just opened again for the season. And that is a fantastic asset for those of us here in Niagara. We have good train connections. We have road connections that are available to us. So transportation, we have to continue to enhance transportation. We are also, I know everybody says they're open for business. You have to really show you're open for business. I was impressed when I heard representatives of Asaya Kasai mention that one of the things they really liked about dealing with Niagara was people were getting back to them right away. We had help from the federal and provincial economic people as well. But they really appreciated the fact that when they made a phone call, somebody got back to them right away. That kind of personalized service is exceedingly important and should never be considered as not being significant. So we have to continue to do that. Yes, we have to, from time to time, travel to bring people here, but also bringing people to the Niagara region from other countries and other jurisdictions across Canada is going to be key. We noted, for instance, in Alberta, when they had the oil boom, for instance, everybody said, well, that's going to help Alberta. That's fine for them, but what about us? Well, what about us? There were suppliers coming from Ontario and indeed from the Niagara region supplying the oil industry in Alberta. And I'm going to mention here something that happened. It's a little off the topic, but I think it fits in. The Niagara Industrial Association would hold I'll call it a fair or a gathering. And I remember one of the first ones they held. What was startling was the number of people who are here in Niagara, with businesses near Niagara, who said, gee, I didn't know I could get that product or that service from somebody right here in Niagara. So that kind of connectivity is exceedingly important for people to know what's available. And in our Buy Local campaign that is being headed up by the Niagara region with the cooperation and enthusiasm of area municipalities, that is really going to demonstrate again. We have a lot of services and products here in Niagara that people in Niagara can buy from and can purchase. So that's going to be very, very important as well. Sorry to deviate a bit, but I thought that was important to mention. I always remember that the number of businesses said, "Gosh, we didn't realize we could get that product right here in Niagara."
Yeah. And you know what? It speaks to actually the feedback we got from the survey mentioned too, this ability about what do we find out about one another and what's in our backyard when we actually come together. Some discussion sometimes has taken place also about the Welland Canal and maybe the opportunity to have it open 12 months a year instead of what it is. Is that feasible? Is that an economic opportunity that is worth pursuing, or is this unrealistic?
I'm not in charge of the weather, but they're opening it longer each year, if you notice.
Yes.
And that's going to make a difference if the people in the scientific field can figure out a way to keep it open longer. That's even better because that is exceedingly important. Look at the kind of investment that's taking place now along the canal. I'll say I'll isolate it particularly in Thorold and in Welland and in Port Colborne along the canal. The businesses that are being established there, they're often replacing older businesses that are gone now, using some of the same buildings or at least the same property. And that's been remarkable with HOPA making the Hamilton Oshawa Port Authority leading the way in there. And we, of course, have with the old Port Weller Dry Dock, we call it in St. Catharines, we have a business there now that's servicing the industry very, very well. And some of our shipping companies have made new purchases of ships. I'll mention as well that they're more environmentally benign than those that were there before, and they're more efficient. So I think you're quite right in identifying the Welland Canal as being exceedingly important. The whole St. Lawrence Seaway system, which has representatives from Canada and the United States on it, I think we can recognize that we have a genuine asset there. The provincial government, for the first time, has decided that they're going to have a marine policy, a significant marine, but it was always there in the background, but a significant marine policy for Ontario. And that would certainly be positive for those of us here in Niagara.
I agree with you. I want to switch topics a little bit to municipal finance. And taxes are a sensitive issue, especially in times where affordability is at an all-time high. And you mentioned the amount of impact and negative impact it has with the downloading from government, Ontario government specifically, but others of services to being taken and handled at a municipal level, and the impact that it has on each one of us personally as well as on businesses at the same time. We have, and Niagara is not unique to it, we see in municipalities across Canada a significant infrastructure gap. We can't catch up anymore. We are not closing that gap anymore. And all of us know that if we don't close the gap, what impact it has and can have on all of us. Are there discussions with the Ontario government of reversing some of those downloading aspects of it, or mitigating some of the impact that it has on municipalities? Because we are not set up to succeed as we can see it.
Ongoing discussions are taking place. Interesting. My friends from New York State were saying, by the way, it doesn't just happen in Canada. We have downloading that takes place as well in our municipal governments from their state and national governments. Now, a lot of the programs that provinces over the years, and it's not just here in Ontario, but provinces over the years have brought in some excellent programs, but they tend to cost the local municipality money. So through the Association of Municipalities of Ontario, the larger Urban Mayors Association, MARCO, which is the mayors and regional chairs, FCM, which is the Federation of Canadian Municipalities, we advocate with senior levels of government to find more money to provide for us to be partners with us. So when they download or initiate a new activity, what we'd like is for the province, or if it's a national government, either one to provide the funding to go with it. It's not that we're trying to block what they're doing, it's cost implications. I mentioned that particularly with police, where over $10 million in because the new policies, which are good policies, that the province has brought down for police services, are costing us more money. That shows up in the local tax base. As we mentioned, the property tax does not take into account a person's ability to pay. The example I give, if a person were unemployed for 1 year, that person is not paying any income taxes. But by gosh, that municipal property tax bill shows up every time. So the senior levels of government have more progressive taxes and a wide variety of revenue sources that we at the local level don't have. So whether it's Niagara Week, which is going to take place pretty soon in at Queen's Park, or whether it's advocating with our national folks, uh, any occasion we can, we are advocating with senior levels of government to provide partnership in terms of funding for such things as infrastructure. The one thing we all mention here in this area is the new wastewater plant in Niagara Falls. And that's about $400 million project. We certainly can't go to the local folks for all that money. If we had a federal and provincial partner, we'd be in pretty good shape because that's needed to accommodate the new housing that the province wants Niagara Falls to provide. It also impacts positively on Thorold and Niagara Lake and St. Catharines as well. You're quite right, and the infrastructure we have, by and large, is 50 and 60 and 70 years old, and it's in need of repair and replacement. And we hate to raise the taxes to do that. In cases, it becomes a danger to the population.
Yeah.
We have to move forward on it.
Thank you. I'm conscious of the time. We always are so committed to getting you out. So I have one final question here, and it's taking us back to trade because these are the questions that you had asked me to ask. And we see a lot of effort at the federal level and at the provincial level in expanding its trade partnerships beyond North America to mitigate some of the risks that we are facing. Any opportunities specifically when you look at Niagara and saying like here are trade partnerships where we see opportunities, sectors where we see opportunities that we need to expand, that we can get behind as we're looking forward?
Right around the world, there are potential markets for the products and the services that we provide here in Niagara. And our staff are out in the region and the municipalities. Staff are out talking to people in other countries, visiting them, getting them to come here to look at what we have to offer, the amenities we have here. We're in the process of because it's always music to the ears of people at the Chamber of Commerce audience to say we're looking for ways to expedite approvals without causing any danger. And we're really looking very carefully at that now and explaining that to people who decide that they might invest in here. So we are looking for those kinds of new opportunities overseas and in other provinces. I go back to that. It's we always end up with this hearing this. If you want to open up trade corridors, how about between our provinces? And there's some very archaic blockages to that can be easily removed, and others that are more contentious. I understand that. But again, the advice we get from people in the business community in this regard is exceedingly important because many of the people who are in the business community who themselves have traveled to other places come back and say, here's where you should be making an effort to lure people to Niagara, or here's where we could sell some of our products to those other countries. So it's not only municipal staff, provincial and federal staff, it's people from the business community themselves who make a huge difference when they come back and share that information with those of us who are in elected office.
Thank you so very much. And I also wanted to say how much I appreciate that you mentioned the interprovincial trade barriers that exist, because I look at some of our alcohol beverages, the wine industry and others who would greatly benefit from having less barriers when it comes to that. And there are great opportunities that we hold within our own country. On that note, I just want to say on behalf of our partners, and I'm just about to actually ask Rebecca Shelley, who is the ED at the Grimsby and District Chamber of Commerce, to come up and close off today's event. But I just wanted to say, I want to really say thank you for all that you do for Niagara, for being so, also you and your team, for being so accessible to us, to answer the questions and to be there when we all really do need to come together. It is greatly appreciated. So thank you for that.
Well, Mishka, I can tell you I'm blessed with an extremely good council to work with.
Yes.
The members of the council are very dedicated, not only to their own communities from which they come, but to the region as a whole. And when you have a council that's as cooperative and exceptional as we have, we're very fortunate in that regard. And the staffs from all the municipalities. And as I go back, a great private sector here. I'm going to touch on one thing. When you think of housing, we have some top-notch developers and builders here in Niagara, and we're very fortunate to have that. And again, that cooperation between the public and private sector is absolutely essential to success. So we appreciate you and the Chamber of Commerce and the business community here in Niagara very much.
We're stronger together. So thank you. Please join me in welcoming Rebecca Shelley with the Grimsby District Chamber.
Thank you, Mishka. Thank you, Chair Bradley. I would like to take a moment to recognize today's event partners, Niagara's tremendous business associations, the Niagara Industrial Association, the Niagara Construction Association, Niagara Association of Realtors, Niagara Home Builders Association, Niagara on the Lake Chamber of Commerce, Grimsby Chamber of Commerce, Lincoln Chamber of Commerce, West Lincoln Chamber of Commerce, and of course our hosts, the Greater Niagara Chamber of Commerce. Thank you. Of course, today would not be possible without the tremendous sponsors that make this happen. The state of the region is powered today by PenFinancial Credit Union, and I believe we have a video to play from them.
Did you know your dollar does more in Niagara with PenFinancial? And you get the same benefits and rates, except we get to know you better, as true neighbors do. From supporting local businesses and charities to journeying with our members, helping them be financially well through all the stages of their lives. Real change, powered by you. We are where Niagara banks. PenFinancial, Niagara's truly local credit union.
Thank you, PenFinancial. So a heartfelt thanks needs to go out today to the generous sponsors who have made it possible to bring an event of this magnitude to life. Today simply would not be possible without you. Ridley College, Electra, Niagara Association of Realtors, Niagara College, Cron Electric, the University of Niagara Falls, Canada, HOPA, the Hamilton Oshawa Port Authority, FedCap Canada, YMCA of Niagara, Norgen Biotech, Your TV, Soundbox Productions, News Talk 610, Move 105.7, and Critelli Furniture. Thank you, sponsors. Takes an army. So as Mishka said, my name is Rebecca Shelley, and I have the absolute privilege of representing and advocating for Grimsby's business community as the executive director of the Grimsby Chamber of Commerce. Thank you, everyone, for being here today and being part of these really important conversations, dialogues, and connections. Thank you to Chair Bradley for taking the time to engage with us here today. It is profoundly important that Niagara's business communities be at the table as we explore solutions for the myriad issues and opportunities that our region faces today. Economic uncertainty, tourism, agriculture, the funding of and in municipalities, healthcare access and physician recruitment, homelessness and access to housing, and so many more. Thank you, Chair Bradley, for ensuring we're all at the table. Issues. We've covered some pretty big ones today, I think, not the least of which is the elephant that is seemingly in every room right now, tariffs and the very disruptive trade environment. As the chair mentioned, we face unsettling and uncertain economic times. Strengthening relationships in our communities, across provinces, and with other countries is imperative right now. Diversifying supply chains and supporting local businesses, these are all critical pieces of the economic puzzle today. And it feels really big and overwhelming to address them. Where do you even start? Well, it starts with us. It starts in really small ways. We start with what is within our control, and we start intentionally choosing and celebrating local, picking up the phone to call an overseas supplier, or sending a note of appreciation to an ally across the border, any border. Some of our allies are even in the room with us here today. Thank you for being here. As always, small actions accumulate and lead to big impacts. It is more important than ever to work together, to find common ground, to keep our trademark Canadian sense of respect, civility, and resilience, and encourage collaboration over division all around us in every way possible. This, of course, leads me to say a huge and heartfelt thanks to Mishka and the incredible team here at the Greater Niagara Chamber of Commerce for their generous partnership and for bringing this event to life. It is a fantastic opportunity to collaborate with our peers and business organizations across the region, and an incredible example of the power of collaboration. Sincere thanks to everyone involved in making the 2025 State of the Region happen today. Thank you again to you, our attendees, for being here, for being part of the conversations, and taking your insights, energy, and motivation back to your own organizations. Thank you and have a great day, everyone.